how do you teach a person to develop? I like these questions. I love answering questions. Thank you so much. It makes me feel so smart. No, I'm kidding. I love it. It's fun because it makes me stop and say, oh, do I know what the heck I'm talking about? And I think I do. But having these questions helps me to really stop and like bend my knowledge a bit and say, so I know this, can I apply it to this? So I love the questions. Thank you so much. Okay, so how do you teach a person to develop their own safety rather than accessing another person for safety? So there is a role for accessing, I don't like saying it that way, but I know what you mean. There absolutely is a role for each of us to provide something called co-regulation. This is another this is a polyvagal core concept. Again, in Polyvagal 101, these are the things that I go over in depth. But basically, co-regulation is this biological communication between two people, but it's from one, we'll say, person in their safety state, offering cues of safety to somebody else who is not in their safety state. And that helps the other person to climb their polyvagal ladder. If you have no idea what these concepts are, listen to my podcast, start with episode 101, or go to my website. I have a whole bunch of polyvagal stuff there. So that's co-regulation. So there is absolutely a role for each of us to not, I'll say support, but I don't mean it like support. I mean for us to offer these biological cues of safety, like eye squints, like this, like if you listen to someone, your eyes squint, and that's a cue that, hey, I'm okay and I'm here for you. My biology is okay, and that tells your biology, oh, I'm in safety. If I can smile, if I can do a genuine smile with, eye crinkles and the cheeks go up, that's a cue from my biology to somebody else's biology saying, I'm safe as an organism. And your self as an organism will pick that up and help you to get to your state of safety. So we don't want to like rely on others exactly, but we also naturally kind of do. So there's absolutely a role for that. But like the part about, you said how to develop their own safety. So the part about like, I'm ultimately responsible. Like those can live at the same time. So it's completely okay to say, I know the safe people in my life. I know the people who I can feel safety with, but it's up to me to reach out, or it's up to me to be able to tolerate my defensive stuff if these people aren't around. Like you can't obviously we can't fully rely on somebody else, but we do have a role in each other's lives on that level, very biological, basic level. Humans are social. We need each other on a very basic level, but we're also individuals, and ultimately we don't control other people. You can't make me, nobody can make each other be safe. Like we can't demand that of each other, right? So it's a balance, and I think there's a role for both. But the question is, how do you teach a person to develop their own safety? If you're asking, how do we identify what our own safety is? The answer to that would be to ask yourself, and I don't know for any one person, but each of us has to look at ourselves and ask, what brings me to safety? When or where or who with do I actually feel grounded? I feel it in my body. Who are you with, or where are you at? Where you smile. That's a really good way to tell what brings you to safety is, can you smile or not? And I can smile right now. I'm mostly in my safety state. I have a little bit of flight energy in my system, so I know when I smile, it's kind of hard for me to like maintain it. I feel fine, but I'm also a little bit more of my flight energy just because I'm doing this thing here, right? But that tells me I have access to it, but I can lose it pretty easily. All right, so it's so important everyone be nice to me. Kidding. So yeah, where do you go, and who are you with where you feel safety, like where you can actually smile? That's a good way to kind of gauge what do you do, what activities do you do that help you to breathe a bit easier. That's a good way to gauge what helps you feel safety. So there's no right answer for any one in particular. There are general things that can help us out, but you really got to be curious about yourself and on a very basic organismic kind of level, like what helps you to feel safety.